So, what are the three great reasons to play 3x3 basketball?
Uh, the pace, I think, is a key one. It's fast and furious, and I think that that's fun. And I think the players that like that's it's a key element. I think that the players seem to enjoy. Another, obviously, in the 5-on-5 space, there's a long bench. That engagement piece across your team, like everyone's going to play, so I think that engagement or involvement piece is a really big plus also. And then the other one, particularly in this at this level, I think about the pathway from the grassroots of it, which is building here in Australia, like it's really taking off, and then all the way up to here is like we're traveling the world playing. Our tournament is global. It's crazy fun, and seeing all of these different spaces and engaging with people from other countries has been like, again, if it's not fun, I'm not sure why you would do it. So it's just another element, if you like, to that fun piece, I think.
Okay, I understand. And can you share your favorite offense drill?
Well, remember, so because the game is relentless, or like repeat efforts, so over and over, um, concentrating on the one-on-one component, I like drills that, so you might have one offensive player who might play get to the wing and play one-on-one off the bounce against one defender, one shot only, and then head straight to the block on the weak opposite side and play one-on-one out of the post straight away against a brand new fresh defender. Then again from the elbow, and then maybe 4 or 5 different spots where they're just having to constantly just get here, get the ball, make a play, get the ball here, make a play, and not just always off the bounce, like sometimes back to the basket, sometimes maybe off a cut. So they're experiencing those making plays one-on-one under fatigue. And then you can flip that, and you might play defense, defend someone on the block. Then you got to get all the way out to the opposite wing, close out, and then defend someone from the wing. And then you might get, somewhere else, and just trying to challenge them to those repeat efforts to get repeat stops or repeat scores.
Okay, et how long?
Pardon?
How long?
Oh, I mean, you might do, so let's go 3 or 4 spots, and you might do 2 laps in a row, no break, and then we'll swap. So then there'd be a new offensive player, and then that player would just become one of the defenders, and they'll all work their way around the group.
Okay.
Because you're often working in small groups, right? So
Yeah.
there's not often 15 or 12 players in the drill. So if you have 4, you'd have 3 defenders and 1 offense twice.
Yes. Depends the number of player. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And your favorite defense drill?
At the moment, I've been watching a lot of teams and the way they play transition defense. So something maybe that starts with ball off the backboard, rebound is secured, and just making that transition phase on the bounce difficult, and then switching to then defend it and maybe play one-on-one off that, or maybe skip the ball and play like defend, a cut on the end, but just working on like that rebound happening, and making it challenging and slowing down when they can start their offense. So that's fun, or I think it's fun. And yeah, that first drill I suggested before, you just flip it and the defender. Those two are probably key for me, and anything that involves working on defending screens is a win, I think.
Okay, perfect. And what are the three or more key skills every 3x3 player must have?
You need to, good question. You need to, obviously, the one-on-one side of things, both sides of the ball. I need to be able to score, and I need to be able to defend one-on-one.
Right.
You need to be able to play well with others. So, I mean, now I'm talking two-man game. So as the handler in the pick and roll, or maybe as the screener, you need to be able to make good reads, set good screens, use good screens, And then I guess you flip that as well. You have to be able to defend the two-man game. And then I would say being able to score or make scoring moves without the ball. So we talk a lot about, breaking someone down on the bounce or the pick and roll, those cuts without the ball, and being able to make and create opportunity for yourself when you don't have it. So you're the receiver of a pass, or when the defense collapses, if it ever collapses. I find it happens a lot less in 3x3, but being available for that next pass and making those plays, I think is key too.
Okay, perfect. And you talked about that last week, but how do you mentally or physically reset between games? So maybe you win the quarterfinal, you can reset for the semi-final.
I think it's important to debrief whatever's just happened, regardless. Like, so if your tournament's over or if you're carrying on, like what did we do well? What do we need to talk about right now because it's fresh? And then that all gets dealt with and moved. And now we're here. So that's the mental or strategic side of it. So as the coach, you might hear, we're lacking communication in a pick and roll, or, we're not getting whatever the feedback from the players is. It gives you really good insight into how it feels out there because you're not in the timeout with the players. Then after that, we switch straight to next. So that's recovery and preparation physically. And then we start to get into, right, now we're playing Japan, the Netherlands, Mongolia, USA, whoever it is, and we start talking about that and what that's going to look like. With the feedback of the previous game, I'm trying to, okay, how do I wrap this to address these so we're not having the same problems in the next game? But the girls really just need to go to next. What does my body need? Am I thirsty? Do I need to rehydrate? Have I got a sore leg? Whatever it is. And so we just start turning to dealing with all of those issues. And what are USA most likely to do in these situations? How are they going to try to beat us? How are we going to try to beat them?
Okay, and can you use video analyze or breakdown for this?
Sometimes it's with the short turnarounds, it can be difficult, but usually by the time you get to finals, you've seen the teams play before. So you can use some of that to get a bit of an idea of tendencies. Individual tendencies exist before the tournament even starts. So you can build a little bit and maybe a little written scout, but those are usually done. So if we have the final day in the women's series, for example, you got 3 games in the day, the written scout, a lot of it would have been done before that day even happens. So I can just, it's already in their hand before they've finished the game prior with just the information that they need. Same with video. We might have some video of some dead balls or things that key players do well and just give them exactly what they need. It needs to be minimal because there's no point overloading.
Yeah. And other thing, can you describe or can you draw your favorite check ball set play? If you have.
No secrets. Yeah, I think at the moment, I like all of the like misdirection and re-screening. So when you need a 2 ball, like teams that, it's cute. They run a lot of cute stuff. I think the check ball's the bit where as the coach, you like, yeah, I'm going to run whatever it is you're into out of a horns action is pretty common for us to at least start. But I think we get caught up in it, but getting the situational bits right is important. But really the crux of the coaching is them being able to play out of transition because that's where most of the basketball is done. But my favorites at the moment are, probably those like screening your own player to set up the 2-ball type situations. I think Mongolia do it well. Canada won a game against us with a little through the legs to shoot the 2-ball behind the screen. I like all of those, but I think favorites. It depends what your team's assets are.
Yeah.
If I've got a giant, like a big, then, you know, and you don't, I'm probably going to look at something that's going to take advantage of that or drag attention to it and get something on the backside. If my assets are different, like the 2-ball, well, I might run, you know, but I like, in a perfect world, they all look roughly the same. So the other team doesn't know what's coming until it's happened.
Okay, I totally agree with you. First transition, and depends the player who you are on the court.
Yeah. I've got confessions. I have a playbook of like, I don't even know how many dead ball plays now. Like, let's make it 50. But the truth is, we don't need 50. So you've just got to pick out the ones that suit your team, get good at it, give them the confidence in all of the reads in it, keep it simple, but you need those situational ones too. And yeah, I focus more probably on how do we get better in transition.
And maybe it depends the type of tournament. So when you Olympic Games, you have 7 days of competition. So maybe you need a lot of check ball set play. But for a women's series, maybe just 4 or 5.
Yeah, true. Or even the World Cup, like, so you would play today and then you have all of tomorrow off. And the tournaments, usually you get 20 minutes maybe or half an hour of like scheduled training. Maybe you take them somewhere else and train and get some more in, or maybe not. But because you've got all that extra time, you can put more into film, review, you know, you can do a bit more of that in those tournament spaces. Whereas women's series, it's flying pretty fast. So you want to make sure you've just got exactly what they need and you minimize your playbook.
Okay. And the last questions. So what is the biggest difference between 5-on-5 and 3x3 player?
I think so. The difference 3x3, I think the 3x3 player probably needs to be very versatile. So I might have a strong post skill set, but I need to be able to dribble the ball, and I probably should be able to shoot from range as well. And then as a guard, you can't not be able to defend a big. Like, you've got to be able to, you know, jack of all trades, be able to do a little bit of everything. You don't have to be necessarily elite at everything. And some of the teams do seem to have, you know, 4 girls that are interchangeable, or 4 guys that could do a whole bunch of things. And then others have these bigs or smaller guards, but those people still have skill sets that belong to your traditional 5-man in 5-on-5 or the point guard. You can't not be able to dribble at all or not have a 2-ball. I think everyone needs all of it. Whereas in 5-on-5, that's not always true. If your skill set in your position is elite, that'd be a thing. And then things that I think 5-on-5 players do when they play 3-on-3, it's that over help. So I get beaten on the dribble. And so as a good teammate, you rush over to try and help me out, and we give up a wide open 2 because you can't just blindly rotate like that. It's too expensive. And a 5-on-5 professional player does that often automatically, and it's expensive when they play 3x3. That's probably a key one, is just, coughing up wide open shots, doing something that you would get praised for in a 5-on-5 space, rotating too hard, basically.